All right, everybody. So this is recording number 6 for lesson 20, and I'm almost positive this will be the last recording. So you should be able to finish up the packet with this one, and hopefully everyone is going to get a really good summative score on this. All right, so page 445, number 5, it says Gabrielle pays $37.80 for a ticket to a show. The amount includes an 8% sales tax. What is the price of the ticket without sales tax? Show your work. All right, so sometimes this does have to be determined for bookkeeping purposes and accounting purposes. So it's like, well, how do you do that? All right, so first it's like, I like to just say, well, what is the question here? So what we're looking for is 3780 is 108% of what number? All right, because this is after tax, so it's 108% of whatever the original was. So remember, when we're working with algebra, is means equals, of means to multiply, and your unknown can be the variable, so let's just call it n. All right, so the process here is getting the question and then writing the algebraic equation. So $37.80 equals 1.08 times n, and then for both of these I need to divide by 1.08. This cancels, and this is 35. So 35 equals n, which means without sales tax, the ticket costs $35. All right, so if you don't have this in your book yet, on number 5, let's get that in, the stuff that's in red. All right, now this, I've already circled the answers, so you can go ahead and circle them. All right, isn't this a nice thing? It's like I've done all the work for you. All right, but let's please pay attention to what I did. All right, so all you need to do here is circle these, and then let's just write the equations for the ones that are less than 22. Okay, so while I am chatting, let's just get these down, even though I had to do all of them, which was, by the way, pretty tedious. But if you just write these 3 down, that'll be good enough for me. Okay, so it says Jade wants to spend less than $22 on a board game. Which of the following prices are in Jade's budget? Select all that apply. So 15% off 25 is 85% of 25. So I multiplied, I got 21.25. So that's 1. 30% off 32, that's 70% of. So when I multiplied that, that's 22.42 high. Letter C. $19.50 plus a 15% shipping fee. All right, so it's 115% of the $19.50. That gave me $22.43 too high. $20.45 plus a 5% shipping fee. I thought that might be too much, but this becomes 1.05 times 20.45. That was fine. That was under 22. This one, 15% off, so that's 85% of the 25. Plus the 5% shipping fee, so 1.05 times all of that. That ended up being $22.31. And then this one, 30% off the 32, plus an additional 5% off that. So 0.95 times that ended up being $21.28. All right, so there's a little explanation. Get everything down that's in red here. All right, this one. And deposit $682 in an account that pays 3.5% yearly simple interest. She neither adds more money nor withdraws any. How much will be in Anne's account after 6 years? Show your work. Okay, so first, here's the formula. All right, simple interest formula. By the way, you should be actually writing this entire thing. So let me box that real quick. So this should be under number 7 in your book. All right, here we go. All right, so then I plugged in what I know. All right, the principal 680, rate 0.035, and years 6, multiplied that out and got the interest as 142.80. Then in terms of how much will be in her account, so the total is the principal plus the interest. So the principal is 680. The interest we just figured out is 142.80. So the total in her account after 6 years is 822.80. Okay, without even doing anything. All right, number 8. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so again, what I want you to write is what I've got here. Okay, so again, you can be working on it while I'm reading. Right, so it says here, a store has a sale. Customers can buy one item at full price and take 50% off the cost of a second item with a lesser price. That's important. All right. Nakia buys one item with a price of $80 and another with a price of $120. With the sale, what percent discount does Nakia receive on her total purchase? Show your work. Okay, so this isn't the final answer. All right, so I want to be clear about the percent discount and how we'll determine that in just a minute. But let's get this beginning part. So Nakia has to pay $120, but she gets 50% off the $80 purchase. Right, so then that's $40. So she pays $160. Okay, now here's the thing. That's not what it's asking us. It says, what's the percent discount on her total purchase? So here's what I want to know. The total purchase would have been $200. So I want to know this. 160 is what percent of 200? All right, and I'm doing this out on purpose so you can see what I'm doing. So 160 that becomes an equals. 160 equals. Okay, so remember, whatever's on each side of the you're going to multiply together. So 200 times n. All right, now what I want to do is divide both sides by 200. So to get the answer, I really want to do this. 160 divided by 200. Right, and I'm just going to use my calculator that I have right now at my desk. I'm doing 160 divided by 200. When I do that, I get 0.8. Right? Well, now we just need to write that as a percent. So we move the decimal point 2 places to the right. That is 80%. So the correct answer is she gets an 80% discount. All right, so you guys, I'd like you to add this to it as well if you haven't already. Because really, the way we get the total percent discount is this algebra that we did right here. All right, and more, this is requiring some algebra. Okay, moving along. All right, so Math Journal. Is 108% of 2 greater than, less than, or equal to 1.08% of 200? Explain your reasoning. So I just said, let's do the math. I did this out. And 1.08, so that's 108% as a decimal times 2, was 216. And then this, 1.08% of 200, well, I just made that 0.0108 times 200, also 216. They're the same. Now, I'm hoping if you can think about this, this makes sense. So this would be right here, 200 is 100 times greater, right, than this. But this is really dividing by 100. So if I divide one part of multiplication by 100, but multiply the other part by 100, the answer is going to be the same. All right, I want to show you this real quick. So I'd like you just to write this somewhere on the packet on a related note. And I find this very useful. This happens with all percents. 4% of 200 is the same as 200% of 4. You can always do that. For example, like 80% of 500 is the same as 500% of 80. Like, oh, you can always switch that around, and that can be very useful. All right, so check this out. All right, so 4% of 200 is 0.04 times 200. That's 8. Well, that's the same as 200% of 4. Well, if you remember, 200% is doubling something. That's 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So if you're figuring out 4% of 200, that's just going to be the 4 doubled if you remember this. All right, this always works, and I use it sometimes. All right, so see if you can understand why it works. All right, it actually is a kind of cool thing. It just works because of the way multiplication works and the way commutative property works. Okay, so everything that's here on this page, probably don't really need to put a box around it since I'm saying everything, but just jot this down somewhere. See if you can figure this one out. All right, this is the end of this recording, end of lesson 20. If you have done the whole thing, you're going to get yourself a 3, and if I can see you've maybe put in some additional notes, I'll give you a 4. Right, and hopefully I've already explained that to you in class. All right, nice job, everybody. Thank you.